Today I'm here to show you how to make thickened beverages with SimplyThick, the thickening gel you can't taste. It's quick, it's simple, and it's easy. But first, we're going to discuss some benefits and packaging options. You may be used to using powder thickeners, and you will find that there are differences. With SimplyThick, you can mix a greater variety of beverages and do it faster. Plus, they maintain their consistency once mixed. This water was mixed 24 hours ago. It hasn't gotten thicker or separated. SimplyThick packaging is designed to make preparing beverages as simple as possible. You will notice that regardless of which packaging you choose, everything is already pre-portioned for you. The first packaging options are individual packets. These packets are designed to mix with 4 ounces of any liquid. You'll notice that this red packet is measured and labeled to produce a nectar consistency. And we have a gold packet measured and labeled to produce a honey consistency. If you want to get pudding or spoon-thick consistency, you just use 2 honey packets with 4 ounces of liquid. Next, we have the bottle and pump system, which is designed to be similar to the individual packets and prepare 1 serving at a time. If you're preparing a 4-ounce serving, 1 full pump stroke is used for nectar consistency, 2 full pump strokes for honey consistency, and 4 strokes for pudding or spoon-thick. Finally, we have the bulk packets, which are designed to mix with 32 ounces of liquid. Again, what you'll notice with these larger packets is that the red packet is portioned and labeled for nectar consistency, and the gold packet is measured and labeled for honey consistency. And if you do need to get pudding or spoon-thick, you just use 2 honey packets. There's 2 different ways to mix SimplyThick gel into a beverage. The first way is to use a fork or a whisk. First, measure 4 ounces of water into this glass. Then, we're going to use a nectar individual packet. At one end, you'll notice a perforated area to tear open the packet. Then, start at the other end and work the gel out of the packet, folding it over as if rolling a tube of toothpaste. It comes out pretty easily. Then, take a fork or a whisk and agitate it very quickly and briskly for about 20 seconds, much like you're beating an egg. What you don't want to do is stir gently like this. To properly mix, you've got to have some speed and agitation. Please do not try to mix using a spoon. It will not be able to provide the needed agitation for proper mixing of the SimplyThick gel. As I mentioned before, SimplyThick is great because you can mix it with virtually any kind of liquid. Once it's mixed, it's never going to change consistency. It's also not going to affect the taste or appearance of the beverage being thickened. Towards the end of the mixing, you're going to feel the liquid become a little bit heavier on your fork or whisk. That's one way you know the gel has been well mixed into your beverage. And there is the final product. You are going to notice some air bubbles that are suspended in the water. It's completely normal, and it's actually the best indicator that you've mixed it properly. The second way to mix SimplyThick is by shaking the gel and beverage together in a closed container. Make sure you do have a lid that can seal tightly. We'll put our liquid in. Orange juice in this case. Our packets have tear strips on the side, but I prefer to use a scissors and cut the corner. Next, add your SimplyThick starting from the top of the packet and move it down. It's really easy. Put the lid on tightly, and what you do is shake vigorously for 5 to 10 seconds, as is being demonstrated. Once you're done shaking, you can serve your beverage immediately. Of course, because of the stability of beverages thickened with SimplyThick, you can always serve it later. So whether you mixed it by hand or you mixed it by shaking, you're going to have drinks that are immediately ready to drink, that look great, taste great, and will always be the same consistency. It's fast, it's easy, and it's simple. SimplyThick has created a recipe book that can be used to create meals with the product. We are going to demonstrate how to make 2 of the more popular recipes: ice cream and soup broth. First, we're going to show you how to thicken ice cream. To start, you will need to thaw your ice cream. Then, take the thawed ice cream and add it to a food processor. The next step is to add SimplyThick. In this demonstration, we are using 1 pint of ice cream, so we're going to add 2 pumps of SimplyThick. Remember, use 1 pump per cup of ice cream. Then, turn on the food processor for 5 to 10 seconds or until it is mixed thoroughly. Alternatively, a whisk may also be used to mix SimplyThick with softened ice cream. Last, serve and enjoy. The ice cream can be frozen again if you are not ready to enjoy. Next, we are going to thicken soup broth. Here we are using a mixing container and a whisk. Soup can either be mixed while it's cold and then brought to the appropriate heat, or mixed while it's already hot. First, fill the mixing container with broth. In this example, we are using 32 ounces of beef broth. Remember to give yourself plenty of headroom, only filling the mixing container to a maximum of half full. Next, add SimplyThick. We are going to use an individual bulk packet to obtain nectar consistency. The red packet is portioned and labeled for nectar consistency, and the gold packet is measured and labeled for honey consistency. And if you need to get to pudding consistency or spoon thick, you just use 2 honey packets. Using a whisk, beat the broth very quickly and briskly for about 20 to 30 seconds, much like you're beating an egg. To properly mix, you've got to have some speed and agitation. Lastly, serve and enjoy. Alternatively, if the soup is cooled or at room temperature, you can mix in a shaking container. First, you add the broth to the shaking container. In this example, we are using 32 ounces of chicken broth. Remember to give yourself plenty of headroom, only filling the mixing container half full. Next, add SimplyThick. We're going to use an individual bulk packet. The red packet is portioned and labeled for nectar consistency, and the gold packet is measured and labeled for honey consistency. And if you do need to get to pudding or spoon thick, you just use 2 honey packets. Put the lid on tightly and then shake it vigorously for 5 to 10 seconds as is being demonstrated. Lastly, serve and enjoy. For a copy of the SimplyThick mixing instructions and other information, visit us at simplythick.com/mixing or give us a call at 1-800-205-7115. Thank you for using SimplyThick.